Imagine a courtroom. In this courtroom, the walls are high and cold. There is a prosecutor standing in the center, holding a thick file of documents. This prosecutor lists every single mistake you have ever made. They have the dates. They have the transcripts of awkward conversations. They have the evidence of the people you hurt and the opportunities you wasted. And there is a judge, sitting high up on the bench, looking down at you with deep disappointment. Here is the terrifying truth about this courtroom. You are the prosecutor, you are the judge, and you are also the prisoner in the dock. We are often our own strictest judges, sentencing ourselves to a lifetime of regret for a mistake we made years or even decades ago. If you are carrying a backpack of stones from your past, feeling like you don't deserve to put it down, then stay with me, like welcoming a friend into your living room. Hi everyone, welcome back to Mira's English podcast. If you are new here, this is a quiet corner of the internet where we use the English language not just to communicate, but to connect, to heal, and to explore the deeper parts of being human. Today, we are going to have a difficult conversation, but it is a necessary one. We are going to talk about forgiving yourself. I decided to create this episode because I realized something about us. We are so quick to forgive others. If a friend comes to you and says, "I messed up," you would likely hug them and say, "It's okay, you're human." But when we look in the mirror, the conversation changes. We say things to ourselves that we would never dare say to someone we love. You might think that punishing yourself is a way of taking responsibility. You might think that holding on to the guilt proves that you are a good person. But today, I want to offer you a different perspective. Punishing yourself is not responsibility, it is a prison. And today, right here, we are going to find the key to unlock it together. So, get comfortable. Maybe make yourself a cup of tea. Take a deep breath, and let's begin. Let's start by understanding why we do this. Why does the brain cling to past mistakes like a broken record? Have you ever tried to go to sleep at 2 a.m. and suddenly your brain decides to play a highlight reel of your worst moments? Maybe it was a relationship you ruined 5 years ago. Maybe it was a foolish financial decision. Or maybe it was just something awkward you said at a party in 2015. Your heart starts to race, your stomach turns, you feel a wave of heat, a physical sensation of cringe or shame. This is what psychologists call rumination, or as we sometimes call it, the loop. The loop is tricky. It feels productive. It feels like you are analyzing the problem to find a solution. But you aren't solving anything. You are just reliving the pain. Here is the science behind it. Your brain is designed to protect you. When you touch a hot stove, your brain records that pain so you never touch it again. Emotional pain works the same way. When you make a social mistake or a life error, your brain records the shame as a threat. It keeps replaying the memory to say, "Don't do that again. Don't be that person again." But here is where the system malfunctions. The stove is no longer hot. The event is over. It's in the past. But by replaying it every night, you are keeping the wound fresh. You are traumatizing yourself over and over again for a crime that has already been paid for. Delivering a key realization. I want you to consider a very important concept. I call it the unfair trial. When you look back at your past self, the version of you from last year or 10 years ago, you are judging them with the wisdom you have today. Think about that. The you of today has learned lessons. You have grown. You have suffered and survived. You have data now that you didn't have back then. Judging your past self with your current wisdom is incredibly unfair. It is like screaming at a 5-year-old child, because they don't know how to solve a complex calculus problem. The child doesn't lack intelligence, they lack experience. The version of you who made that mistake, they were doing the best they could with the tools they had at the time. Maybe they were lonely. Maybe they were young and impulsive. Maybe they were acting out of trauma or fear. Instead of looking at that past version of you with hatred, can you try, just for a moment, to look at them with curiosity? Can you ask, why was I in so much pain that I made that choice? When you shift from judgment to curiosity, the walls of the courtroom start to crack. To truly move forward, we need to learn a new vocabulary. We need to distinguish between two emotions that feel similar but are actually opposites: guilt and shame. We often use these words interchangeably in English, but in the language of healing, they are worlds apart. Brené Brown, a wonderful researcher on vulnerability, explains it best. Guilt is the thought, I did something bad. Shame is the thought, I am bad. Do you feel the weight difference in those two sentences? Guilt focuses on behavior. It says, I made a mistake. Guilt can actually be healthy. It's a signal from your conscience. It tells you that your actions didn't align with your values. It motivates you to apologize, to fix the damage, to change your behavior next time. Guilt allows space for growth. Shame. Shame is different. Shame focuses on identity. It says, I am a mistake. Shame doesn't tell you that you acted poorly. It tells you that you are fundamentally flawed, broken, or unworthy of love. When guilt transforms into shame, we stop trying to fix the problem. Instead, we want to hide. We want to disappear. We attack ourselves because we believe we deserve the pain. Many of you listening to this right now are stuck in shame. You aren't just regretting an action, you are condemning your soul. You might be telling yourself, I am a bad partner. I am a failure. I am toxic. But listen to me closely. You are not your mistakes. Your mistakes are things you did. They are not who you are. You are a fluid, evolving human being. You are a collection of stories, memories, kindness, potential, and flaws. Defining your entire existence by your worst moments is a tragedy. Imagine a beautiful painting. If there is one small smudge of black paint in the corner, do you throw away the entire canvas? Do you call the whole painting garbage? Of course not. You step back and see the whole picture. You need to step back and see the whole picture of yourself. Now, let's talk about the biggest trap of all. The trap that keeps us awake at night. The trap of, if only. If only I had taken that job. If only I hadn't sent that text. If only I had turned left instead of right. We become obsessed with the idea of a time machine. We replay the scenario in our heads, directing a movie where we made the right choice. In this fantasy movie, everything is perfect. We are happy. We are successful. No one got hurt. We fall in love with this fantasy life. And because we love the fantasy so much, we start to hate our real life. But this is an illusion. It is a cognitive distortion. We assume that if we hadn't made that specific mistake, the path would have been smooth. But life is never a straight line. If you hadn't made that mistake, you would have made a different one. If you hadn't faced that struggle, you would have faced another. The if-only game is a form of arrogance. It is us trying to control the uncontrollable. It is us refusing to accept that life is messy. Acceptance is the antidote to if only. Acceptance doesn't mean you like what happened. It doesn't mean you are happy about the mistake. It simply means you acknowledge reality. You look at the broken glass on the floor and say, okay, the glass is broken. I cannot unbreak it. So how do I clean it up? And what cup do I use to drink water today? That is the shift. Moving from, why did this happen, to, what do I do now? So, how do we actually start the process of letting go? How do we move from the courtroom to the healing room? It starts with a conversation. Not the shouting match you usually have in your head, but a real conversation. I want you to try an exercise with me. You don't have to do it right now, but promise me you will try it later. I want you to imagine the younger version of you, the one who made the mistake. Visualize them clearly. See what they are wearing. See the fear or confusion in their eyes. Now, imagine stepping out of your body and sitting next to them. If that was your younger brother, or your best friend, or your child, what would you say to them? Would you scream at them? Would you tell them they are worthless? Or would you put a hand on their shoulder and say, I know you didn't mean for this to happen. I know you were hurting. It's going to be okay. We are going to figure this out. Why is it so hard to give that same kindness to yourself? Forgiveness is not about condoning the bad behavior. It is about detaching the behavior from the person. When you forgive yourself, you are essentially saying, I will not let this one moment define the rest of my life. I will learn from it, but I will not live in it. There is a powerful phrase I use whenever the old guilt tries to creep back in. I say to myself, thank you for the lesson. You can go now. It acknowledges the value of the pain, the lesson, but it releases the suffering. But I know what you are thinking. Mira, this sounds nice, but the feeling comes back. And you are right. Forgiving yourself is not a one-time event. You don't just decide to forgive yourself on a Tuesday and be done with it forever. It is a practice. It is a daily habit. We often think change has to be huge. We think we need a dramatic breakthrough. But true healing happens in what I call the 1% shift. If you have spent 10 years criticizing yourself every day, your brain has built a highway for those negative thoughts. It is the path of least resistance. To change that, we don't need to blow up the highway. We just need to start building a small dirt path in a new direction. Here is what the 1% shift looks like in real life. Tomorrow, when you drop a glass of water, or when you forget an important email, catch yourself. The old script says, you idiot, you always do this. The 1% shift says, oops, that was clumsy. I'm tired today. Let me clean this up. Do you hear the difference? It is subtle, but over time, that tiny shift in tone changes the architecture of your brain. You stop being your own bully and start becoming your own caregiver. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself you love. You cannot criticize yourself into a version of yourself that is confident. You can only love yourself into evolution. There is a philosophy I turn to whenever I feel broken. It comes from Japan, and it is called kintsugi. In the West, when we break a bowl, we try to glue it back together so the cracks are invisible. Or we throw it away because it is ruined. But in the art of kintsugi, the craftsman repairs the broken pottery with a lacquer mixed with powdered gold. They don't hide the cracks, they highlight them. They make the cracks the most beautiful part of the piece. The philosophy is simple. The bowl is more beautiful because it has been broken. It has a history. It has survived. You are that bowl. The mistakes you made, the pain you caused, the failures you endured. They are not ugly scars that need to be hidden. They are your gold. Without those mistakes, you wouldn't have the empathy you have today. You wouldn't be able to sit with a friend who is hurting and say, I understand, and truly mean it. Your brokenness has created space for your humanity to shine through. So, instead of trying to erase your past, can you paint it with gold? Can you accept that your history is what makes you uniquely you? We are coming to the end of our time together, but before you go, I want to give you one final tool, a ritual. Sometimes the mind needs a physical action to understand that something is over. I want you to write a letter, not a mental letter, but a physical one with pen and paper. Address it to your past self. Write down everything, the anger, the disappointment, the "I wish you hadn't done that." Get it all out of your system, and then write the words, "I forgive you. You did the best you could." And then, and this is the important part, destroy the letter. Burn it safely or tear it into tiny pieces and throw it away. As you watch it disappear, tell your body, it is done. You have carried this backpack long enough. It is time to set it down. My friends, the person you were 5 years ago or 5 months ago, they are gone. They only exist in your memory. The only person who is real is the one listening to me right now, the one who is breathing, the one who wants to be better, the one who is worthy of a second chance. Give yourself that chance, not because you are perfect, but because you are here. And as long as you are here, there is still time to write a new story, a story that starts not with shame, but with grace. If this video spoke to you today, I would love to hear from you. I know this is a vulnerable topic, but if you feel brave, let me know in the comments. What is one thing you are ready to forgive yourself for? Or simply type, "I am ready to let go," to claim that intention for yourself. Reading your stories helps others feel less alone. If you found value in this session, please like this video so it can reach other people who are silently carrying their own heavy backpacks. And subscribe to Mira's English podcast if you want to continue this journey of growth and language learning with me. Be gentle with yourself this week. You are doing better than you think. I'll see you in the next episode.